Hey guys, it's Gina Kazaza, and I just experienced SERE. For those of you who don't know, SERE stands for Survival, Invasion, Resistance, Escape. It's a program to help you learn what to do if you are kidnapped, how to survive being tortured, how to survive being hunted. It is not for the faint-hearted, I can tell you that right now. So here's why I decided to experience SERE. I am 5 feet, under 100 pounds, and adorable. I am the perfect kidnap victim. When a kidnapper is looking for its victim, it's not looking for someone that looks like The Rock. No. It's looking for someone that they could easily slip into their backpack. I wanted to know, like, if something was to happen to me, would I fight, flight, or freeze? My money was 100% on freeze. I started researching kidnapping experiences. All I was looking for was like a simple kidnapping experience. They come up behind you when you're like putting groceries in the car and they drag you into their trunk. You have to like fight them off. That's what I was looking for. Oh, but what I found was so much worse. I ended up finding a survival school in California, CaliforniaSurvivalTraining.com, and they do a weekend civilian SERE. I want to throw on the record, I'm in camp. I don't do the dark. Dark is scary, especially when you're the prey. I don't do anything that moves. I'm not into creepy crawlers, snakes, 100% no. Leading up to this, I would go to Petco just to hold the snakes, to help myself to get through the fear. I didn't know what to bring. I have zero camping equipment. I have zero cold gear. I live in California. They gave us an itinerary of what to bring, like a sleeping bag, a tent, a headlamp. I have none of this stuff. It said you can either build shelter or you can pitch a tent. I knew how to do none of those things. I live in a first world country. I've never had to build shelter in my life. The only thing that I'm really good at is staying in the same clothes the next day and not changing. And as I'm reading this list, I was a little confused because I was like, I'm getting kidnapped. If I get kidnapped in real life, it's not like I'm gonna have a tent with me. I almost brought nothing. 4 days before the trip, I was like, get the heck on Amazon right now. Better to be prepared than not have anything at all. Thank God that thought came in and I did that. Thank God, I would not have made it. So I'm gonna walk you through my experience at SERE. There were 10 of us that signed up for the SERE experience and want to point this out. I signed up for this before I started training with the Navy SEAL, and I am so grateful that I started training with the Navy SEAL. The way I reacted from everything that happened to me was due to his training, and I freaking thrived. Had it not been for his training, I would have Oklahomed out instantly. And by the way, Oklahoma was our safe word. One thing I understood going into this was, this is a game. The instructors are also gonna be the one that captures us. They're gonna be the ones that torture us. They're the bad guys. I need to play this game just as well as they're playing the game. Here it is. These guys are my captors, okay? They are gonna be torturing me. What I need to do is I need to humanize myself to them. Because think about this. They're my captors, but they're also my instructors. So they also need to be thinking about my safety. I also had an advantage because Coach Mac went to SERE. Everything he said, I took in and I used. Day one is where you learn. You learn everything about how not to get captured, how to be socially aware of your surroundings. You also learn how to pick locks. You also learn how to get out of handcuffs. You also learn how to get out of zip ties. You learn how to fight, like hand-to-hand combat. You learn how to build shelter in the woods. They taught us how to spot lies and how to handle yourself in interrogation. It's a lot to take in day one. Lying, I got in the bags. I've been lying to these people since day one. Knowing that it was a game, I decided to play me as the weakest link. I already look like the weakest link. It's just the blessing and the curse of being short. People always think that they can one-up you because you're tiny. Let them think that, okay? Right now, my size is working 100% to my advantage. And guess what? I'm gonna ham it up even more. First night, I'm sleeping in my tent. I am freezing. I'm freezing. I got a sleeping bag that was good for 20 below. Complete lies. I was shivering all night and I was in like 2 pairs of pants, 4 shirts. Couldn't sleep at all. Curled up in a ball, reading on my side, and every hour my side would go completely numb and I'll have to rotate over like a rotisserie chicken. Every hour. Day 2, they go to kidnap you, they torture you. At some point you have to escape and then they hunt you all night. In the beginning they put us in various dress positions and they asked everyone like, what number are you at in pain? And some people were like a 3, a 6, a 4. I'm like, a 10. It's always gonna be a 10. Even if I am in a pain of 2, they don't need to know that. They need to know that I am 100% suffering at all times, because that's what they want. They want to break you. They want you to suffer. And if you're like, I'm at a 2, what are they gonna do? They're gonna torture you even more. They're gonna make you suffer even more, okay? When you're at a 10, when you say you're at a 10, they're laughing at you. And guess what? I'm laughing on the inside too, because you believe me. Any ego or pride I had coming into this weekend, I sent out the window. My job was fooling them into thinking I was the weakest link, so I was gonna 100% play that. I had to always be the stupidest one in the room. Every single time. We did hand-to-hand combat. We were learning how to chokehold and how to guard and stuff. I take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know what I'm doing, okay? But they don't need to know that. We learned how to take a gun from somebody. I practically pretended I never held a gun in my life. I go to the gun range once a week. They don't need to know that. That's the game I'm playing. That's all I'm gonna play. About an hour before they came to kidnap us, I went outside and I prayed. I said, universe, I wanna stay dry. I want to stay warm. I want this to be easy. And I want to be safe the whole entire night. Please give this to me. Anyone that was there that would have heard my prayer would have 100% laughed at it. They were like, you're 100% getting captured. You're 100% getting soaking wet. You're 100% going to be freezing outside. The universe and I were like, okay. So here's the SERE experience. So in the common area, and there is an exit in the front and an exit in the back. All of a sudden, in the back, a flash pin gets thrown in the common area. Someone screams, everybody down, and comes running in. There are people coming running in the front. I think in total there had to be like almost 20 people. I jumped down. They said down, I went down instantly. And this is where my training with the SEAL came in handy. When we jumped down, I was looking down at the ground, like nervous. I had Coach Mac in my head going, Gina, look up, situational awareness, know what's going on. And I'm looking up and I'm seeing 5 people running out of the building. And I'm like, oh my God, that's an option? 100%. Like, get up and run. So I got up and I started running. These people that were capturing us started to make a wall, like a human wall to stop everybody. Once that happened, I jumped back down. Now I get it. I 100% understand when Coach Mac says in training, transition is so important. And that is when it clicked. Transition is so important. Transition is what is going to not get you killed or captured. And that's what happened. I went from ground to feet to ground to feet so fast and so quick, they couldn't see it because I was so good at transitioning. Thank you, Coach. I'm telling you right now, the transition is what saved my life. One of the teammates has a backpack on, and one of the kidnappers or captures grabs her backpack. And Nikki was able to shimmy out of this backpack and run. And as she did that, there was a small little opening for Gina. And I transitioned up and out of there. 6 of us ended up escaping out of there and running for our lives. Now they're hunting us. They had paintballs, they had night goggle, heat infrared, and a drone. When we booked it out of there, we maneuvered a little bit through the parking lot, and then you were straight down the mountain, just running. I felt like I was transported into Hunger Games. 5 of my teammates got captured. 6 of us didn't get captured, and we were just in survival mode all night. I've never ran so fast in my life. I dropped my water, didn't stop, just went straight past go and kept running. My throat felt like it was bleeding. The amount of dirt and debris from running that my lungs took in just made me cough uncontrollably. I was so nervous coughing because I was like, this is how they're gonna spine me. Now I'm gonna get my whole team captured. We didn't just run straight down the mountain. We ran across the mountain. We ran back up the mountain. And you know, people have longer legs than me. I have short legs. You don't want to be the reason why your team gets captured. I was really struggling. I decided to bear crawl and use my hands and my legs, and that really made it a lot easier for me. You know, whatever you can do to keep up and get the job done. When we did stop, everyone was able to see who made it out and who didn't. I think they were really surprised when they turned and they see me. They were like, oh, Gina, you're here. Since there were 6 of us, we decided to split up into 2s. So when they were tracking us, it was a little bit more difficult since there was 3 separate tracks. Out this whole entire experience, I kept having Coach Mac in my head. 2 things that Coach Mac says frequently is lead from the front and your teammate is more important than you. Those 2 things really helped me to get through this. Coach Mac would say my teammate is more important than me. I always be like, okay, I feel like I should be very important. My teammate is more important than me helps take everything off of me. Like, if I am cold and I'm focusing on my teammate, I'm less cold. Because I'm not focusing on me and my pain. Like, if I am focusing on helping my teammate, I'm not focusing on my nerves and being hunted and what's going on. So the more and more I focus on my teammate, the more and more I'm feeling safe, the more and more I'm not focusing on my pain, and the more I am in like the calm and I'm able to see the bigger picture and get ahead. From day 1, I made sure I was leading from the front. The best was the looks on my various teammates' faces when I'd be like, guys, if there is anything that you need, you just let me know. I'm here to help you. They'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. But in their mind, they're like, what is she gonna do for us? These guys are like cops, they're ex-military, they're SWAT, one's a black belt. These guys are like real life G.I. Joe action figures. Even the girl, she's like a G.I. Jane. And I'm just like, if you guys need anything, you just let me know. I'm here to help you. They're like, okay, we'll let you know. I don't have to be the strongest to lead from the front. When we split up into 2, and 2, 2 of the guys we ended up never seeing again until morning. Me and my partner Wayne, we stuck together, and then Nikki and Justin, they stuck with us. Nikki and Justin would go one way, me and Wayne went the other. These guys are really coming after us. I mean, they have a drone, they have paintballs, and they also have cars. So they could get on the road to get to any part of the mountain, pull over, and start finding us. Coach Mac's SERE story really came into play because he mentioned that he hid in like a tree trunk. So I was like, we need to find trees. We need to find trees now. We need to find a whole bunch that like kind of build a little shelter. Me and Wayne found it. That's where we laid and hid till nightfall. It's funny how when you're being hunted, all the other fears go out the window. Small goals were extremely important. I just had small goals all night. Make it to 8:30. 8:30 was when nightfall hit. That was the first goal, 8:30. And then after that, I was like, small goal is every 2 hours. Just make it every 2 hours and we'll just get closer and closer and closer to the end. Don't think about the bigger picture. Don't think about the 12 hours. We weren't sure if we should stay on foot and keep running or if we should just stay where we are, wait until nightfall. My gut instinct was like, just stay put and make it till nightfall. Just make it till nightfall in this spot, and then we figure out the next move. Me and Wayne made it to nightfall. First small goal, checked off. Nikki and Justin were behind this big boulder. That's where we ended up going, behind the boulder. That was the spot because they have infrared night goggles. You could see heat. It wouldn't be able to see through a rock, a boulder. Pretty much sleeping on a hill, like the boulder, and then there was like this hill, and we kept sliding down. So there was a tree, it was like 12 feet long, and it was like as wide as me. And they picked it up and put it down between 2 other trees so our feet would just lay on, so we wouldn't fall off the mountain. These are 3 strangers that I don't know. Only thing to stay warm was cuddling. We cuddled like we were in a quad relationship. We were on top of each other, just smushed together, just holding each other for body heat and warmth. And let me tell you, it worked. Decided to stay behind the boulder all night. I was like, why move? Unless we have to move, why move? We did see the drone, but it was not gonna find us. No. We were in a prime spot. I didn't take my phone with me because I was nervous that I would drop it in the woods and lose it. Guys that did get captured We're texting my phone to say Oklahoma to all come back because we escaped and that wasn't part of the game. Let me tell you something. Whether I had my phone or not, if they wanted us to come back, it was 100% not happening. Not happening. I mean, if a kidnapping goes wrong, I'm not gonna go back to my kidnapper and be like, you didn't do it right, can you do it over? Guys that got captured got tortured for 3 to 4 hours. They got drenched head to toe in water. They had to do various stress positions. One guy got waterboarded. One kid, his head was in the toilet looking at human shit for 45 minutes. They peed in a bottle and sprayed them with pee. One girl that was captured, they had her in a plank position for like 10 minutes and her body was sagging, and one of the instructors like gets in her face and goes, have you ever been shot before? You ever been shot before? And he takes the paintball and shoots it on the ground right in front of her face. I felt so bad for the people that got captured. Also so thankful that that wasn't me. They should have prayed beforehand. We made it the 12 hours. When we got back to the campsite, I felt like I was a freaking Spartan warrior walking out of that forest, surviving all night, escaping without being captured. Pretty crazy to me that my training with the SEAL has translated so well to surviving in the field. I'm a civilian. Like, I've never been in war. I've never been in the field. So to be able to experience this and know that everything that he taught me translated, and not just translated, but helped me thrive. I learned that I'm able to stay calm. I realize every single decision matters. I learned that I'm able to go to those quick decisions. I learned that I'm able to transition very quickly. I learned that in fight, flight, or freeze, I'm gonna fight. I learned so much about myself. I am beyond grateful for my partner Wayne. I am beyond grateful for my teammates, for Justin and Nikki, and for us getting through the whole entire night together. And that was my experience at SERE.